Now next principle is principle of materiality. This principle is the exception of to the principle of full disclosure. This principle is the exception to the principle of full disclosure. Exception to the principle of full disclosure. Items having an insignificant effect or irrelevant item, insignificant effect or unimportant information, useless or irrelevant from the user point of view need not be disclosed. Otherwise your financial statement will be unnecessarily overburdened. So if the information is not important, not to provide that information, or you may merge with the another informations, or you may delete it or merged with the another one, so that the financial statement will not be overburdened. Because if the financial statement will be overburdened and information is too much, and to that information so many information are irrelevant, then it will create a problem for the user point of view, create a problem to take the decisions, unnecessary delay in the decision making process, because so many irrelevant things are, or irrelevant informations are incorporated inside the financial statement. So this should be, we have to avoid these things. Okay, and if any information has little bit important, then we will merge it with the another items. Okay, so principle of materiality is the exception. It is an exception to the principle of full disclosure, and items having an insignificant effect or unimportant or irrelevant to the user of accounting information need not be disclosed. Means we are not going to overburden our financial statement. We are not going to overburden our financial statement. Otherwise, unnecessarily the decision of the users will be delayed or may affect badly the right decisions. Next is related to that, whether the information is important or unimportant, it depends upon the decision of the accountant. Accountant will decide whether this information or this item is important or this item is not important. Because for one enterprise, the one particular information is important, and the same information for other enterprise may be unimportant. So it is not necessarily the one item which is important for one enterprise important for all enterprise, not necessary. Now next principle is principle of conservatism. Principle of conservatism is also known as principle of prudence. What is principle of conservatism? Under this principles, all anticipated losses, if there is a chance of loss in future, means anticipated losses, not yet faced, we haven't faced that loss or suffered that loss, there is a chance of that loss in future. So all anticipated losses should be recorded in the books of account. Anticipated loss will be recorded in the books of account, but all anticipated gain should be ignored. All anticipated gain, if there is chance of gain in future, we have to ignore it. We will not record that gain, anticipated gain. We will record anticipated losses, but we will not record the anticipated gain. It means business is going to play a very safe game. Safe gain means unless and until that profit is earned, gain is earned, we will not record that one in the books of account. Otherwise, unnecessarily, our profit will be increased. We will pay the tax to the government. The employee will demand for the more salary and wages and bonus. So, and more competitors will enter into the market by watching the profits, because the profit to that business is very high. So what we do, anticipated losses will be recorded because we want to play the safe game, but anticipated gain will be ignored. Hence we will not record any anticipated gain in our books of account. Conservatism is the policy of playing safe. Policy of playing safe game. Now, what's the effect of this conservatism? Effect of this conservatism, profit will disclose lower than the actual profit. Profit will disclose lower than the actual profit, and assets will be understatement. Understatement of assets will be shown at lower value, but the liabilities will be shown at a higher value. Overstatement of liability, understatement of assets, and overstatement of liability at their actual values. Means what we are actually, we don't want to disclose our actual position to the outsiders. So through the conservatism policy, conservatism, it is also known as principle of prudence. Under this principle, through this principle, the accounting is going to play a very safe game. Very safe. All anticipated losses will be recorded well in advance. Whether the loss will occur or loss will not occur in future, but we will record that losses well in advance, like the provision for bad debts, any sort of losses which we feel that may be faced by us will be recorded well in advance. Next principle is cost principle, or which is also known as historical principles. Under this principle, we record the transaction in the books of account when the transaction is completed at their cost of acquisition or at their actual cost, what we have paid. Suppose we have purchased the building. Suppose we have purchased the building, building purchased for rupees 10 lakhs. We'll record that building in our books of account for rupees 10 lakhs after the purchase, not before the purchase. So our accounting is historical. It is not present. It is related to past, when the transaction is over, when it is completed. Our financial statement is historical. Is it? It is historical. It is related to past, not related to present, not related to future. So we record the transaction in the books of account when it is acquired. So when we purchase the building, whether on cash or on credit, this will be recorded in the books of account at the cost of acquisition, and this building will be shown in the balance sheet. And we know that the building will be depreciated every year, so amount of depreciation will be shown in the statement of profit and loss account to calculate the profit or loss of the business. So historical cost concept, historical cost principle means it is related to past, not related to present, not related to future.